Swapping a well-paid job for a career in property developing can seem a good idea when the market's rising. 18 months ago, Lisa Fox Cooper followed her calling to become a full-time property developer. She was determined to pour a lifetime of design ideas into her very first property.
I've been wanting to stick on some red silk rose petals in lines, coming down and gradually getting closer and closer together.
So you've got the glue and you've got the petals and you've been dying to stick them somewhere. There was no holding Lisa back on her first development. The question is, has she learnt any lessons to help her with her second? This is your next development?
Yes.
Where are the petals? They're here somewhere, aren't they? I know they are. This week I'm in Macclesfield, Cheshire, where this house is in for a major refurbishment. Bored with the lucrative world of computers, Lisa Fox Cooper wants to change her career. She wants to turn her passion for decorating into full-time property developing. She's chosen this small 3-bedroom semi as her first project and given herself just 3 months to get it finished and back on the market. It's a good property for a first-time developer. No major building work, but it's been empty for 2 years and it shows. The roof is leaking and all the upstairs ceilings need to be replaced. The carport's falling down, and both the front and back gardens have been neglected and are totally overgrown. The house needs new windows, flooring, kitchen and bathroom. It also needs redecorating from top to bottom, and that's the bit that Lisa loves best. She's only been in her own brand new home for 2 years, and she's already redecorated every room, twice.
It got to the point where my husband just said, go and find somewhere that, I could focus my energies onto and decorate.
But property developing is about more than decorating. Lisa wants to make this her career and earn enough money to match the large salary she's getting from her IT job. So what made you decide to buy this house?
Well, I only live a couple of minutes down the road. My mum lives next door but one. The guy that's going to be helping me do the work lives next door, so it seemed a perfect location.
So how much did you buy the house for?
110,000.
And what are you planning on spending?
The budget's 15.
50, so that's 125 you'll have spent by then. And what do you hope it'll be worth?
145.
So that's a £20,000 profit, if all goes according to plan.
Yeah, if we don't blow the budget.
With talk of blowing her budget before she's even started, I hope Lisa is planning ahead. She's invested a huge amount of money and she must watch every penny. She paid £110,000 for the property. She's got a budget of £15,000. If she sells it for £145,000, that leaves her a cool 20 grand profit for just 14 weeks' work. But it won't be easy because, like most properties on the estate, Lisa's 2-storey semi suffers from feeling cramped. There are 3 bedrooms and a bathroom squeezed in upstairs, and a living room and kitchen downstairs. The bathroom is tiny for a family home, and although 2 of the bedrooms are just about okay, the 3rd is minute. The kitchen won't fit a dining table, so there's just one living dining area for the whole family. Now this is a lovely big room. The living room is basically sound and just needs new flooring and redecoration. But the kitchen layout is a mess. This is lovely at the moment, isn't it?
It will be.
What are you going to do here?
I'm going to brick up the back door, brick up the access to the boiler, and that will give us a full run of units all the way round. So that would mean we can get rid of the units here.
And what about the access to the garden?
Yeah, we're going to have patio doors here.
Right.
And also if we take this door off, when you're in the living room, you'll have a full view straight out to the garden then.
Lisa's ideas are great. By bricking up the doors, she can create 2 distinct areas. At one end, there'll be a good-sized kitchen with tons of work surface. At the other, the new French doors will overlook the garden and bring in light and a sense of space. And there'll be enough room for a family dining table. This is a massive improvement and will really help Lisa's house stand out from the crowd. She also wants to add a small unheated conservatory to the back, but I don't think it's worth doing. Conservatories are expensive to do properly, and it's unlikely to make her any extra profit. I think she should spend her time and money on doing this property simply and quickly, from bedroom to bathroom. But I'm worried that she's viewing this as her decorating hobby rather than her job.
In here we're going to put a new bath in, just a plain white bath.
What's wrong with the one now?
I just think it's filthy inside. I just think it needs...
You don't want to clean it?
Well,
it's extreme, like that, you know.
I think we need some new taps and things as well. I'd like to put some pebble tiles. They're actually cork-backed, but it's like a photographic image of a pebble, so it would just look like a pebble beach, really, on the floor. And we've chosen some wall tiles that are about this big, and they've got holes in which make them all sort of misshaped, which makes them look a bit sort of Roman.
I'm just worried about a room this small, having so much going on. It's going to be very busy to have this busy floor and busy tiles. And are you sure that you're doing this not because you like it?
It is quite personal to my taste. I thought, well, I wanted it somewhere to be a little bit more exciting. So if I'm going to do it anywhere, with this floor, with it being so small, it would cost, you know, next to nothing to replace it.
If only Lisa's very individual decorating ideas stopped with her pebble tiles in the bathroom. But they don't. In fact, she's got big plans for every single room in the house.
Painting the wall silver. We get some skeleton leaves and just stick them on the wall, a wash of green over the top. Inset a shaker peg rail in there. I've distressed it and painted it like a duck egg blue. Beige, brown, biscotti cream, a gold gilt mirror. Then stick on some red silk rose petals in lines, coming down and gradually getting closer and closer together. I've been wanting to do things like that anywhere for months and months, and not had a property to do it. So now it's right. I have a spare wall. I can do.
So you've got the glue, and you've got the petals, and you've been dying to stick them somewhere. Considering this is a development, this isn't your home. You've got a lot of themes going on in a lot of very small rooms, and I wonder if maybe you should kind of just calm it down a bit. You're not convinced, are you?
No. Because that's the fun part, is the adding the finishing touches, the personality to each room. And also I think the things like the skeleton leaves and the roses, they're the things that make it stand out from another new magnolia boxed house.
With all Lisa's ideas, the property will certainly stand out. But the danger is she's creating a house that will only appeal to the few who share her taste. And she's got an awful lot to do on her budget of £15,000. She's allowed £2,300 for the new kitchen and bathroom, £2,400 for the new windows and doors, £650 to repair the roof, £1,750 for flooring, £3,500 for fees and mortgage, and £4,400 for the outside. Good property developing is about maximising your market and your profit, and Lisa could do both. House prices in Macclesfield have risen by an incredible 50% in the last year, faster than anywhere in the country. Silk factories that stood empty are now luxury apartments. It has good communication links from both north and south, but 5 minutes away by car, you could be a million miles away. Lisa has chosen the perfect location and property for starter families. Her house is close to the town's centre and has good amenities on the doorstep. But if they don't like her very distinctive taste, then there's road after road of other houses for them to choose from.
When you're selling a house, look is everything. It's not like I've just plucked an idea from nowhere and thought, right, let's go with that. I've had these interior design magazines for 5 or 6 years. I've looked at these ideas for a long time. I know the layout of the house, and I know what works.
I can see it's going to be difficult to convince Lisa that she's making a mistake, and on her £15,000 budget, wasting money she simply doesn't have. Lisa hopes she can keep costs down by doing as much as she can herself. Everything else will be done by neighbour Roger for just £750. It's a fraction of what you'd normally pay, but he's fed up with living next door to an empty, rundown house.
I've known Lisa for about 15 years. She's interested in doing the decorating side of things, likes to make things look nice but doesn't want to do the heavy work. So I do that, she does the nice bits.
Cool. I'm going in.
Here, beside you. Well, Lisa tends to want to get things done in 10 minutes, so I'll have to pull on her reins a little bit there.
I thought you'd just go bash it. Come on.
With her small budget but such big ideas, I only hope I can make sure Lisa watches every penny.
That's a fifth of your whole bathroom budget on one tap.
"18 months ago, amateur property developer Lisa Fox Cooper bought this 1970s semi in Macclesfield. She planned to turn it around in just 14 weeks, selling it on to make a whopping £20,000 profit. Long term, Lisa wants to make enough money from property developing to give up her well-paid IT job. But just 10 days into the project, her budget's already gone through the roof.
I'd only actually budgeted £650 for the roof. Unfortunately, the guys we'd chosen originally to let us down, so we found somebody else. It's ended up costing £860 for the actual work, and unfortunately another £460 for the scaffolding, which I hadn't budgeted for.
What that means is Lisa spent twice as much as she'd budgeted on the roof. And it hasn't stopped there.
At the moment, I've gone over quite a bit with the building materials, wood and plasterboard and things like that. We've got to buy the kitchen yet, and there's a couple of other things, but going off what we've already spent and what I projected we'd spend for the other things, I think I'm going to end up about £4,000 over budget. But it's a minor detail. If we do a really quality job, maybe we can recoup what we've lost on the going over the budget at the other end when we come to sell it.
Relying on your property rising in value just to cover your increased spending is crazy. Lisa should be cutting back on her budget, but when it comes to shopping, she has no control.
I absolutely love this one. This is what my mum's got in her bathroom.
It's beautiful, I have to say, I agree.
I love the shape of the sink and everything, but I just think that one might be slightly better because of the storage underneath.
So how much are these? How much is this one, for instance?
That's £449. That's for the sink and the cabinet.
But your total bathroom budget is £500, isn't it? So you'd have £51 to buy the taps and the bath and the loo and everything else.
They're cool.
These?
Really like those.
Actually, they are lovely, but how much? So these are £98.49. So that's a fifth of your whole bathroom budget on one tap.
At £4,000 over budget, Lisa can't afford to spend this on the bathroom. And she doesn't need to either.
This is it. This is the one I want.
This one?
Yeah.
A, you wouldn't be able to fit into your bathroom without shoehorning it in. And I mean, I personally don't like corner bars, so if I personally don't like corner bars, there must be other people who don't like corner bars. So you're kind of limiting your market to a certain extent.
but I do like them, and there'll be people that do like them as well. It's just...
I know, but the key with developing, though, is that, I mean, you can't appeal to every single person's taste, but less people find a standard tin bath offensive than a corner bath.
But I can't see why somebody wouldn't like that. You know, you've got somewhere to sit, it's bigger, it's nice shape, some nice taps, and I just think, you know, especially people with kids, you've got more room in there, haven't you?
So I do actually really believe that this is a mistake.
But I think we'll just have to agree to disagree on that one.
Despite all my attempts to stop her spending, Lisa's managed to blow over £1,000. Twice her budget, including buying a corner bath that's too big for the bathroom. But if there's one thing about Lisa, it's that she doesn't let a little problem like that get in her way. And by the next morning, she's sorted it.
When we got back, we just started bashing, and the next minute the wall was gone. What we've done, we've loosened this wall here, which will now come back about 3 inches, and that extra space here will just allow us to have a corner bath. I mean, ideally, I'd love to just have this as like a wet room or a big shower or something, but if people have got children, then they normally want a bath, and by putting in a corner bath, it's just something a little bit nicer, a bit more interesting.
With costs escalating, Lisa is finally doing something about it, and she's called in local agents to get their advice.
So this is where I've been thinking of having a conservatory, but I didn't know whether, budget-wise and how much it would add on to the house at the end, whether it would actually be worth it.
It'd make it easier to sell, but it's a bit of a gamble whether or not it'd add any more value to the property.
Right.
It has to be a certain size for planning reasons as well, so you can't get too big. So I would say no.
But not all the news is as good. To get her profit, the house needs to be worth more than the original valuation of £145,000. Now that's the highest they give.
The way Lisa does her property, she may get away with it at 145.
I think after the improvement works had been done, I would say that a fair valuation in today's market would be around 140.
I would expect to achieve 135,000 for this property in the current market in Macclesfield.
Not great news. Lisa's total costs are now £129,000, getting close to the lowest valuation.
If you assume that's 135 and you're £4,000 over on your budget, you're actually only going to make about £6,000 profit. Is that a big problem?
Yes, but at the end of the day, I'm not going to try and sell it for 135. I'll put it on at 145, which is what I said initially and what I personally think it's worth, and try and sell it at that. And I mean, I've lived on this estate for 20 years, and I just know these houses don't come up that often, and when they do, they're just sold so quickly. And most people on this row here, you know, they've lived here 15, 20 years. It's a good area to live in. And my mum lives next door but one, and I did her house up, and hers is valued at more than 145.
There's a big difference between estate agents saying that they'd like to get a certain amount for your house and an estate agent actually finding a buyer who'll hand over the cash and sign a contract for that amount.
Well, I guess we won't know then till I sell it.
I guess not. I hope you prove me wrong.
Sure I will.
This is dangerous. If Lisa overprices the house, it may not sell, especially with plenty of other good property on the market. To stand a chance of getting the top price, Lisa must exploit the full potential of her development.
Gosh, this looks a bit different. Wow, you've been storming ahead.
It's now 5 weeks since my first visit, and despite having a full-time job, Lisa's made great progress.
So now your kitchen, which is, I mean, it's a great room now, this kitchen. So that's all been blocked up, the outside door, and that doorway to the understairs cupboard's been blocked up.
Yeah.
And these amazing new French doors. So the banister's in.
Yeah.
It's good to see. That looks better, doesn't it? Gosh, it is actually still an incredibly small space, even though you've moved the wall. Are you sure that this is a big enough space to have this corner bath and a loo and a basin?
Yep. It's all been measured out, it fits perfectly. Please.
Get your face.
But they'll look brilliant here, because everything's just going to be white. So I think it's a perfect theme for a bathroom. Don't you like them?
Actually, I think they're really fun, but I think quite a lot of people might not think they were fun.
I can totally understand what you're saying, but I knew that they were going to be slightly controversial. But the market that I'm aiming at to sell the house isn't, you know, it's not... It's a young couple, and young couple with children. And if they don't like it, then I picked the smallest possible space there was in the house.
For them to redo.
If they don't like it, then they can redo it. But personally, I think they're really cool.
Developing is about creating a property that appeals to a broad range of people, keeping an eye on your profit margin. But Lisa's being too personal and spending far too much money.
How much is the single bed?
It's about 500.
So is that in your budget?
No.
"18 months ago, first-time property developer Lisa Fox-Cooper set out to make a £20,000 profit on this three-bedroom semi in Macclesfield. 8 weeks into the project, she was right on schedule. But it wasn't all good news. She had overspent by £4,000. The agents had said that she wouldn't get her asking price, and still, every day, she's spending more money. It's not easy to get Lisa to compromise, but I think she needs to start thinking more like a businesswoman. Or she will actually put off buyers. Rose petals and leaf skeletons might be all right in your own home, but not in a development.
Hi.
How are you?
Lisa thought a visit to her home would convince me to change my mind. Lisa loves design. Everything about her home says so.
Your house here is absolutely beautiful, but it is of a very specific style, and if somebody didn't like this style, it may put them off buying it.
But I've had friends that have come here, each of whom houses is very different, and there isn't anybody that comes in here and oh, you know, the shock horror by it. It's I don't think it's very, you know, an in-your-face style. And in that house, that's the interesting part, the ideas, because otherwise it'd be a magnolia box like any other new house.
There is no chance of Lisa creating a bland beige box. In fact, it's difficult to find space where she hasn't tried an idea inspired from the hundreds of magazines she's collected.
This is the bed we're going to use in the back bedroom of the new house.
So have you bought this already, or you've got it?
Yeah, it's on order.
It's on order?
Yeah, ordered that yesterday.
So this is £795 for the queen size bed?
Yeah.
And how much is the single bed?
It's about 500.
So is that in your budget?
No.
Lisa's ideas are clever, but they are a very definite style. And whatever she says, they will not be to everyone's taste. As a property developer, you have to appeal to as many people as possible so you can sell the property fast. Not wait months, hoping to find the one person who loves what you've done. But whatever I say, Lisa's heart is set on ensuring her development well and truly stands out from the rest.
To me, it's a hobby. It's just like somebody riding a horse or riding a bike. It's just, you know, I enjoy doing it. So and if you can make money at the same time, great.
Amateur developing is hard work, especially if you're still working full-time. But despite 2 months spending every night working at the house, she still seems happy.
It's blood, sweat and tears to get it finished on time and on target. So if you don't love it, I just don't think it's the kind of job you can do if you don't.
Lisa could easily achieve a simple, sophisticated look with her development, but she's determined that all her ideas will stay.
Before I even got the keys for this house, I knew exactly what I was going to do. in every room. And I'd bought all the paints and all the fabrics and everything within about a week of having the keys. So to me, I have followed a theme. It's my style, and it's what I know works because I've done it before and I know people like it.
Throughout the entire project, Lisa has known exactly what she wanted to achieve. And now, even though she's over budget, she's determined to finish right on schedule. With the 14-week deadline approaching, Lisa calls in the entire family to help things get finished.
And woe betide if I do it wrong. She's quite specific on what she wants.
This carries on the way it's going, and I've really enjoyed it. And I don't think there's any reason not to go straight on to do another house. I've probably had to have 3 or 4 weeks break, but I would like to do another one straight away.
She works really hard, she's never still, and she seems to get things done.
I do admire Lisa's energy and determination, even if I don't agree with all her ideas.
Bathroom's in now.
Look. The bath really does look big in the corner there. Why don't you just...
perfect. There's nothing wrong with that bath there. It's been purposely made for that space. It fits perfectly. It's probably this much wider than a normal bath. You've got extra room where I'm stood. You wouldn't be able to stand here if you had a normal bath in. And once you got rid of this unit, you'll be able to.
But don't forget that once you put the boxing onto that bath, it's actually going to come right out to here, and it'll come down to here.
The bath's staying.
Now, I have to say, I think that you can't afford to have a cabinet underneath the basin. You want a wall-hung basin.
Yeah.
If you are limited on space, the more floor you can see, the bigger it feels.
Well, I might even do that, yeah.
Because there's just too much going on.
Yeah.
At last, something Lisa's agreed to.
Cool.
And by changing the sink, hopefully she can save some money. Because although she's already saved £2,500 on the conservatory, she's still £4,000 overspent. Many aspects of the job have gone over budget, including the garden that's grown from £600 to £800. That is, apart from Roger, who as well as his full-time job, has worked almost every day for just £750.
She's caught up with me now. Oh yeah, she's absolutely itching to get going. You can't stop her. She's very keen. If it stands still long enough, she'll paint it.
Lisa's been incredibly lucky to have Roger on board. 2.5 months into the project, Lisa started the final push to get the development finished. The concrete drive is being laid. Inside, Lisa's trying to save some money and has got her husband Anthony and a couple of friends fitting the kitchen. This leaves Lisa free to indulge in the finishing touches.
And to think that 10 weeks ago this house had its roof off, some walls knocked down, it's crazy really. I mean, although we've really worked round the clock, can't believe what we've actually achieved.
And with her petals firmly glued to the wall, Lisa's even more convinced that she'll be able to get the top price.
I'm definitely confident that we'd get 145. In fact, I think, looking at what's available and what's sold recently around here, I think I'd get more than that, even, 155, 160. And I think the estate agents will value it more than that when they come back.
But if it goes the other way, Lisa could have done all this work for nothing. In just 3 months, this rundown 3-bed semi has been transformed. Amateur developer Lisa Fox Cooper has pulled out all the stops and finished on time, if not on budget. Outside, the overgrown back garden has been totally cleared. The large plants and trees that would have made the garden feel established have gone. In their place, a square of grass and a relaxing seating area. It's inside, though, where Lisa's left her stamp. The soulless drab reception is now full of her character. From the full slog fire and brown walls to the large gold mirror, it's well staged. And although it won't appeal to everyone, the finish is fantastic. The kitchen is the biggest success and will appeal to her family market. With clever design, she's kept tons of work surface and fitted in a dining table. This room will really help sell this house. Upstairs, Lisa's design ideas are everywhere. And although the finish is perfect here too, I think she's created a space which some people will love, but others may hate. And that's not what property developing's about. The big problem with this house was how to make it feel bigger, and in the bathroom, I think there's just too many different things going on. The master bedroom is more successful. By using fewer colours and ideas, this room feels much bigger. And although it still says Lisa, if a buyer doesn't like them, the personal statements are more easily removed. The second bedroom has a different theme, with its fresh blues, creams and greys. Here, Lisa would have been better choosing a smaller bed, because it does dominate the room, but she loves it. The tiny front room feels bigger now the boiler cupboard has been removed, but the staging is just too personal and does not feel like a kid's room at all. And the netting only goes to reinforce just how small the room is. None of these rooms have a wardrobe, which is a mistake. As a rule of thumb, the smaller the room, the more you need to show how it will be used. Whether you love it or not, the finish throughout is excellent, and you can't fail to be impressed. But it has come at a cost. Lisa's original budget was £15,000, but she overspent by £4,000. She'd allocated £1,100 for the drive. It cost £2,000. Repairs for the roof went from £650 to over £1,300. She'd allocated nothing for skips, hiring tools, the decking or any furnishings for the house. But these cost an extra £1,700.
And I have to say, it looks amazing, the house. Have you enjoyed this project, do you think?
Yeah, it's been great. We've enjoyed it. Apart from probably say 3 or 4 days to about 2 weeks from the end, that was just Roger and I just sort of had enough. But up until then, I've enjoyed it.
When I first came here and the house wasn't done at all, you had very strong ideas as to how you wanted it to look. Has it fulfilled all those expectations?
Yeah, I mean, certainly the living room, the kitchen and 2 of the bedrooms are just 100% how I pictured them before I actually started, and certainly the red and white room. I bought everything before I even got the keys to the house, and that is exactly how I imagined it.
Lisa's always believed that if she made her house perfect, it would be worth more than all the others on the estate. And with it finished, will the estate agents agree?
Very nice. Have you changed the windows?
Yeah.
French doors, were they there before?
No, that was a window.
Brilliant. You've managed to fit a corner bath in there.
But we actually moved that wall 3 inches that way.
Oh, right.
The only thing I'm not quite sure about is the floor.
It perhaps may not appeal to the mainstream. I would say valuation in the region of 145.
I think we can get 142.5. At the push, if you want to try at 145, we will do.
It should definitely deserve some good interest and sell at an asking price, which I would say is top money at £145,000.
Although £145,000 was the price Lisa originally hoped for, it's no longer enough.
I was hoping for 150, 155.
No other property has ever sold for that kind of figure on the estate, even the slightly larger ones, so it might be a bridge too far.
I just think that if somebody comes into the house, it's their taste, they like it, they're not going to argue over £5,000-10,000. You either like it or you don't.
It doesn't matter what I say, Lisa, or what you say, it's what people out there are saying, and at the moment they're not prepared to pay much more than 140.
But it's only worth what somebody's prepared to pay for
Exactly.
it. And I would rather put it on the market at 150 and then be able to bring it down.
She may just pull it off, but maybe that one person out there may come along, so in that respect, yeah, we'll try it and see what happens, and then she's got those two options. She either reduces it or has it hanging around for a long time.
One of the golden rules of property development is to get your cash out quickly so you can get on with the next one. By overpricing the house, Lisa is taking a big risk. But as usual, she is adamant.
I just think you've got to believe in what you think it's worth, and the estate agents, you know, haven't lived here for 22 years. They don't know, you know, 100% what's gone into this house and what people have said that have, you know, been looking at it as we've been doing it up, so.
I certainly hope she's right. Lisa paid £110,000 and she spent £19,000 doing the work. Selling for £150,000 would earn her a £21,000 profit. That, of course, is assuming she achieves her rather ambitious asking price of £150,000.
We have the lounge.
I like the flooring. It's nice and airy. It's very nice, very nicely done.
Don't know that I'm taken with that sort of feature.
Well, it's a lovely big window. I do like a big window in my kitchen. Yeah, it's nice that there's a dining area in the kitchen. I think that's quite important. The gates are a bit out of keeping with the rest of it.
Presumably you can bring the car up here as well for extra parking.
Yeah.
My husband always says, ignore the decor, that can be changed. But as a lady, I think most women do notice the decor and the way the house is presented.
You could move into it and not have to do anything, but me being me, I would still want to change things. The bath is great.
Nice suite, isn't it?
Yes, it's very, very nice.
I think the corner bath looks nice.
I think the tiles are quite unusual.
I really like the mirror effect.
I think the floor is absolutely horrendous.
I said I don't like this.
Yeah, I'm not sure about the floor. The children will be picking them off every time they come upstairs. In fact, I might have a go myself. It's automatic. Everything is new. Everything's been done for you, so maybe that is why it's a little more expensive than I would like to pay. This is the first house that we've actually looked at, although we've seen quite a few details. And compared with quite a lot of houses on this estate, I think it's a little bit expensive.
A little overpriced, I thought. I would think more 145. I like the colour of this room.
Really nicely decorated, but where do you put your clothes? It's a nice room for a child. I just don't think the bedrooms are big enough. I do like the house, I like it very much, but it's not really for me and I won't be putting an offer in. I wouldn't put an offer in at the moment because I don't think it's the right house for us at this particular stage in our lives.
Yes, I would consider an offer, but more 145, not the full asking price.
There's a long way between an offer and a sale, but Lisa's already planning her next project. So you're quite determined to do another one, though?
Yeah.
And then have you got new design ideas bubbling away inside already?
Got the rest of that, the folder, the design folder.
Oh my goodness, you're going to be running for a long time.
I'll still be decorating when I'm 90 because I've still got so many ideas I need to use.
Lucky for Lisa, she had a very buoyant market on her side. And after 5 weeks of viewings, she got an offer of the full asking price, leaving her with a profit of £21,000 and a real taste for developing. Even husband Anthony was convinced they had a future in property. After months of searching for a second development with a bigger profit margin than the last one, they found this, a 4-bedroom Victorian semi-detached property in Wilmslow, needing much more than a cosmetic makeover.
It was Anthony that actually found this house, and when we saw it, we both fell in love with it, and we saw the potential, and also all the period features were just fantastic, so we just thought it'd be a good challenge because there was also a lot of work to do.
They're not kidding, this house is bordering on derelict. It needs total modernisation throughout. New flooring, windows, electrics and plumbing. The layout is awkward and outdated. The garden is small and overgrown, and there's no parking.
Hopefully we'll be able to resolve that by either buying a piece of land at the rear of the property, or at least being able to gain access by paying a lease to the person that owns that land.
Great idea, but really this is an issue they should have resolved before they bought the property. They paid a hefty £246,000 for the house. They have a budget of £80,000, and they want to sell for £425,000. This would give them a profit of £99,000, a fantastic 30% return. This time Lisa and Anthony mean business. They've set up a property developing company. But Lisa can't afford to give up her IT job just yet, because Anthony has decided to give up his. This time he will project manage the development and do all the labouring on site. 6 months later, he's broken the back of it, and Lisa's ready to move in with her design folder for the interior.
At the moment, when I walk around the house, there are times when I think, oh, that a great big pair of gold curtains here would look great, or this would look great. But I don't think we're going to go to that extreme on this house, so I think I'll just have to think about it, and that'll be it.
But with Lisa's track record, I'm not sure she'll be able to resist. And when the house is ready to go back on the market, I want to see for myself.
Hi, how are
Hi.
you? Fine, thank you.
Cool. This is your next development.
Yes.
Where are the petals? They're here somewhere, aren't they? I know they are.
No, not on this one. Left
No?
them out this time.
What about wallpaper?
No, no wallpaper either.
I'm so restrained. This is a miracle, a miracle. And it is a miracle. Unlike the last development, this time wallpaper has given way to paint. Period features and simple straight lines have replaced the fuss and frills, and any petals present are firmly attached to their stalks. This is a gorgeous kitchen breakfast room, isn't it? Wonderful. So what exactly did you do to this area here?
Well, basically, it's always been a kitchen and dining room, but there was a chimney stack here, so we took the chimney stack out so that we can have an open kitchen diner area.
Anthony really has worked wonders. By completely redesigning the layout, he's created a very family-friendly home. It's a much more ambitious project, this, isn't it?
Yeah.
Have you found it hard?
Yeah, it has been tough at times. The hardest part has been managing the people on the job and being let down from time to time. But overall, it's still been good. It's been a good experience and still good fun as well.
Lisa's also had some fun, but without getting carried away. She's now used a palette of colours that will appeal to a broader market, and she hasn't indulged in any accessorising that could alienate buyers. And once again, the finish is superb. It's much more neutral this time round. There's not a petal in sight. Why did you decide to knock that one on the head?
Although I don't like to say it, I think perhaps you were right about appealing to everybody's taste.
Oh, my word.
So, also, now it's a business, we've got to look at every single cost, and paint as opposed to wallpaper is cheaper, and also employing somebody to fit the wallpaper is more expensive than slapping some paint on the walls. I still stick to the fact that I don't think it should be magnolia box like the new houses tend to be.
It doesn't have to be.
No, but that's why I've put some other colours on the walls as well, but it's predominantly cream.
This really is a reformed Lisa. And in the bathroom, though there are pebbles, there's no pebble tiles.
Those pebble tiles absolutely haunt me. Everybody always asks about the pebble tiles and the petals. And I do actually still really like them. I just didn't think they were suitable for a family bathroom in a Victorian house, so I haven't used them this time.
And last time you had a very small bathroom and you shoehorned a corner bath into it. And this time you've got a massive room, which you could have put a corner bath, but didn't.
I think it was because the actual layout of that room was perfect for putting a bath with a shower at the end, and that would free up as much floor space as possible. So it was just made sense not to on this occasion.
It's not because you've kissed goodbye to corner baths?
No, I still love corner baths.
Lisa and Anthony watched every penny with this development, but still they spent £90,000, £10,000 over their budget. And they never did secure that parking space. How much did you originally want to sell the house for, or plan to sell for?
We originally said we'd like to sell it for around 425, but we think that the market certainly seems to have slowed down since we originally bought the house, so I think 395 is a more realistic figure.
Although £40,000 less than they'd hoped, this sale price still gives them a £59,000 profit. Add this to the £21,000 profit from the first development, and it would give them a total profit of £80,000 in nearly 2 years. But I still think that £395,000 is an unrealistic sale price in a slowing market.
Yes, this is really nice. They've concentrated on keeping the decor plain and simple, neutral carpets. This is just what the family market likes.
They've kept the period features, the fireplace, coving, picture rails and leaded detail to the window.
It's a shame that they've not been able to secure parking at the back here. It's a family house, and obviously a family living here are likely to have at least one car.
In the present market conditions, I'd recommend an asking price of £365,000.
I would put this property on the market for £380,000.
The estate agents valued it at £365,000 and £380,000, which is lower than you're hoping. I mean, they both said that if you had got parking, you could add between £5,000 and £10,000 to the value of the house.
Well, 380, 395, we're not far off. I think the best thing for us to do now would be to get a couple more estate agents and take an average of the 4 or the 5 however many we get, but I'd certainly like to achieve 395.
So what advice would you give to somebody who was planning on developing?
I definitely think that to stick quite stringently to the budget that you've allowed yourself.
And if I've learnt anything, it would be stick to neutral.
As with her first development, Lisa has decided to ignore the agents, and she's put the property on the market for £395,000. Though I do admire Lisa's confidence, I feel it could be slightly misplaced. I'm worried that her stubborn attitude to her sale price could lead to no sale at all. And sure enough, after 2 months, Lisa and Anthony have lowered their asking price by £5,000. But they still haven't had any offers. So although the property looks perfect, they haven't actually made a penny out of it. Next week, I'm back in Winchmore Hill to see if Mark and Sharon have hit the big time.
Now, I really thought this was the start of a good relationship between you and I, but how wrong I was.
Well, I thought you was a fairer man than that.